Hello, I'm Chris Solo, and welcome to the Fabled 42, where we build community through friendship, gaming, and chaos. You're watching the Realms of Ukodor, and you can normally catch us live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific here at twitch.tv/Fabled42. But as you can see, we're not streaming on Wednesday this week. We chose to not stream on Wednesday because we stand with the survivors of sexual harassment and abuse against all forms of discrimination. In show of solidarity, we are raising money for RAIN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. The Fabled 42 producers will match dollar for dollar for all donations that we make during this stream today. You can donate with the link down below, and without further ado, let's get into the rest of our announcements and tonight's show. We have also decided, for similar reasons and everything else, that we are switching all of our big perks and everything else for subscriptions to our Patreon, and you can check that link down below as well. So we still honor the Twitch the Twitch subscriptions and the bits through the bit menu down below as well, healing potions, inspiration die, and all that. But we are encouraging everyone to focus on our Patreon, where we will give everyone a few extra perks per subscription. Yeah, there's monthly drawings, and there's exclusive Patreon-only content and streams that will be coming down the line as well. So please take a look at that link as well. Big shout out to our longtime sponsors. Everything that is 3D printed in all of our streams is from Griffin Co. So please check those guys out. We are also Vorpal powered. Our video and audio display, player indicators, digital dice, Zoom features on the battle map are all brought to you by Vorpal Board. So please check those guys out. Also, big shout out to Tabletop Game and Hobby. You can go there and check out their online store to get all your tabletop needs. And another big shout out to the rest of our sponsors: Master Monk Gaming, Tabletop Things, Plaid Elephant Props, and Plus One Crafting.
Yeah.
We'll be doing several giveaways throughout this stream. This is a very special stream. There's a lot of different triggers. I will not be verbally saying these triggers throughout the stream, so please, even though those of you who don't normally watch the Twitch chat, keep an eye out for that Twitch chat. Integrate with that, and you'll see that those giveaways will be active. And then we will do our normal mid-show giveaway as well. But without further ado, let's get ready for tonight's episode of the Realms of Ukodor.
Realms of Ukodor.
Muster your courage, it must not abate. Allies are more than well, evil retreats. With fate in your hand, now the story's complete. Ukodor, we're full of mystery to explore. Monsters and danger around every turn, and soon enough you will learn. The choice is yours.
And welcome back. Last we left, the Lightbringers were decompressing after beating Vulrock in the Tournament of Champions for the spot for the throne for Oriana. But it was not a bittersweet fight ending at all. The council members were murdered. Several of the Lightbringers' friends were deceased. Jadobi was able to bring back Aika, the rest of the party. They traveled to the keep in the city of Duthor, contemplated, processed everything that just went down, but didn't even have time to continue that. They quickly got together and vamped to the Fae to find Facina, immediately trying to bring Tormund back. During that time, they all circled around Tormund as Facina started her ritual. All of the Lightbringers were able to bring something to the table, and were successful with bringing Tormund back. They continued to discuss and deliberate about what to do next, while their friend Roman still laid dead. Processing what just happened, having individual conversations about the different interactions and enemies that they had encountered yet again. One that Saiyan didn't even know how to process. Watching the death or the visual of the death of his mother by a father that he never knew, a black dragonborn. The party continued to utilize all of their different skills and abilities to obtain as much lore and information as they could about Vulrak, Riha, the orb, and some other bits of information, just to try to get all of anything that they could use inside of their corner before heading into the council meeting that they were on their way to. Getting some more information from Facina that Vulrak being brought to the 9th circle of hell by a demented Istar in an attempt to rid some of his enemies was actually very costly to what you all are fighting for. While Vulrak was there fighting you all off, killing the council members and destroying the orb that was keeping you all from utilizing all of your magical abilities, he was able to secretly open up the portal and lock it open for the 9th level of hell, which allows Riha, should she get to the 10th level of hell, can easily walk through it. Once Riha walks through that portal, she will have the ability to plane shift anywhere. With all of this information, the party was able to compose themselves, gather again once again, to go to their friend Roman, who has possible information that could help, or just another able body to help in this cause. They gathered around his body, began to discuss what comes next. And that's where we pick up. Lightbringers, what would you like to do?
Well, as we gather around Roman's body, and I believe they were already prepping everything within.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look up at everyone who has been prepping for this. Hi. I'm sorry, but can we move this outside? I need to be around soil for this.
Sure, we can do that.
Thank you. And I don't know if they're gonna move Roman or if they need us to, but I'll help with anything. I'll help with picking up and kind of transfer and stuff like that.
Sure. There's probably 6 elves that were kind of probably spent the last 2 hours laying down flowers and wraps and bandages, really just to prep this ritual. Easy enough though. No bitterness or resentment. Very respectful to your wish. All gather around. You watch as their eyes kind of glow just a little bit, and Roman's body and all the flowers and such kind of hover off of the stone slab that he's lying on. and they all kind of single file, 3 on either side, walk out the door. Where would you like to take him?
They asked me who I would like to take him.
Where would you like us to take him?
I think this would be best in some sort of garden or something with very strong and nutritious soil.
Yes. We can take him to the Eternal Grove. Please, follow us.
Thank you.
And they continue to walk very methodically, very. Every step that they make is very. The intention there is just soft and gentle and full of life. They continue to walk past the keep. Cerise, you've been here before. It's a very, very beautiful garden. But you walk in and you see all of the beautiful flowers of the Fae. No pots, no like man-made structures with this garden. This is a natural garden, but it's very unique because you see roots of other trees kind of come around where it would imagine like if you had a potted plant, but it's made out of roots of another tree. So every plant and every tree is connected. So you see these very large trees with these extravagant roots coming out, and all these beautiful flowers and plants and squirrels and all sorts of animals just kind of smattering around. And as they walk into this space, in the center of this grove is like a meditation circle. Beautiful, soft, almost perfect grass with all these little white and yellow flowers all kind of smattered around. The 6 elves walk through this space into this grove, stop, kneel down, and you watch as Roman's body slowly gentles down to the surface of the ground. They kind of move some of the flowers and things around just to get it perfect and in order. They stand up, they bow to all of you, and they walk back towards the city.
I bow back to them in respect and appreciation. So who is all here besides my team?
I mean, right now it's just your team, Oriana and Facina. I've kind of stayed back just a little bit, and Leah is also with them. But they're letting you all kind of just be here in this moment and just process, but they are slowly walking up towards you as well.
Okay. Let's see. 1, 2. I like kind of count my team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, perhaps. We'll see. Okay. So what you all are about to see is somewhat different than the traditional resurrections that you may have seen before this. Just know that I feel like this is a bit more natural, more pure, some say. I'm not here to debate or argue. But this is the way I feel that it's going to best work. The richness of soil here is very empowering, and I can kind of feel the energies around me as I just kind of stand here. This is a good place. Let's see. Sayan, I am going to be drawing your positive energies. And of course, Denahi, your strength as well. And for Cerise and Tormin and not Eric, whoa, sorry, and Talk, I'm sorry, where did that come from?
What a strange name.
Right? Where did I get that from?
Sounds exotic.
I will definitely. I may need your voices. As I
I
said,
can, I can use my voice to cast counterspell if you'd like.
I will slay you where you stand.
Cerise
No,
throws something at you, just like a pebble. Cut that out.
Saiyan just gives Tormund the stink eye and then moves back on to paying attention to Joby.
She laughs.
Before I start, I want to ask you all to take this moment to think. Tomans might be a little bit difficult for you. I'm not sure how well you know them. However, take this moment to think of what you feel from you would lure Roman spirit back to us. And as I say that, I will kind of turn my back to them and like walk towards the circle or wherever it is that, they set for me. And I'm going to kneel down on one knee, and I'm gonna have Roman to my left, his body, and I'm just gonna make sure I have a vast amount of space to my right.
Okay.
You guys, you all see me and hear me, I guess, begin to chant as my tattoos begin to glow a combination of greens and yellows. They kind of flicker and dance with each other across my skin, as if all the tattoos are connected. And I will very slowly start to move my hands down to the soil and kind of sink my fingertips into the dirt. When I do that, you see this gentle wave of radiant yellow and green energy is kind of like a ripple from me, as if we are in a lake. As it passes by your ankles, it fades behind you. In the empty space to my right, you start to see the ground shift and move as roots begin to snake their way from below to up top, and very gently. You can barely see the roots breaking the dirt. It's just kind of gathering. You may feel a little bit uncomfortable because it is also gathering under your feet too, but very gentle, very calming, very interesting. As I continue to chant, I will take one hand, the left hand, out of the soil and put it on the chest of Roman's body. And I will cast Reincarnation.
Okay. So, much like our other resurrection spells, we will ask that the 6 of you bring something to this ritual.
I'll speak out. Who would like to be the first?
I have known him the least, longest out of all of us, so I'd like to go first.
Come forward.
I'm gonna approach him, and as I do, I'm gonna pull out the wolf pelt that Denahi used in my resurrection, and I'm going to place it on his chest, and just quietly, kind of under my breath, say, "You have been a good friend and good ally to these people. Do not let that go to waste. Come back to us."
Please make a survival check for me.
Cool. So that is a 7.
7.
Before, I just kind of want to say, before that final number is decided, does anyone want to inspire or anything?
I do think I have an inspiration I can use. Hang on, let me check.
You probably do.
I do. I have a D10 inspo I can use, so I'll use that.
Go for it.
Let's
Would
see.
you like me trying to resurrect you?
Yay!
Yes, it totally is.
God damn it.
So that is a 9.
A 9. So you
It's
watch.
still better than nothing.
Kind of around Roman's body, you see like the grass, the green grass, kind of glowing green, and you see this vine or this plant come out of the ground, almost kind of forms a rune in itself, but it's actually a plant. And you watch as a flower starts to grow, but stops, and the glowing plant just sits there.
I'll walk back.
Who shall be the next?
Saiyan slowly walks up as well. I too had a rather short relationship with Rowan, but he's proved himself a very capable warrior, and beyond that, a true friend. Not only do we need everyone we can for the battle ahead, we need his light to help our lights shine that much brighter. And Saiyan will clasp his amulet and just say a few words of prayer himself.
That was beautiful.
Saying, can you make a religion check, please?
We are doing real hot with these rolls tonight. Do I have any inspiration I can add to that? I don't think I do. I think I have used it all up. So that is going to come to a 15.
15. So you watch as another flower grows, and as it grows, it illuminates in that green, arcane, natural light, and it starts to formulate more petals and things. And you watch as a reddish, not a rose, but a reddish flower that kind of illuminates very brightly does pop out, and the flower does glow.
Saiyan steps back and leaves room for whoever's going to go next.
Cerise will step up next. Roman, I met you very recently, but in that short time, you gave me hope and advice. There's no one else like you in this world, and we really need you to come back and fill that space. There's no one like you. You know what you gotta do. Come back to us. Come back.
Can you roll a performance check, please? Jesus, is your performance really that high?
Good
I
thing
rolled a
too.
one
with the one.
My performance is a plus 18, so
So,
double XP, baby.
wow.
Hey.
So you watch as another flower grows, illuminates, and the red bud does come out of the plant.
I'll approach Roman next.
As
so
Denai's
Denahi-
walking up, Sane's crying tears from that song.
Oh. Denahi kind of walks over to him, kneels by his side with something in her hand, and she reaches out and places it gently on his chest. And it's like this enormous red ruby that she's been hiding from everyone, that she got from from some dragon's den or one of our adventures, what seems like years ago. She just kind of sits there in silence for a moment, as if speaking to him, but so only he can hear. But then she says out loud, "See this to the end, with me too." And she takes a step back.
Because you kept it from everyone, and it's kind of inherent in your nature, please roll a sleight of hand check.
Well, 19 plus
Oh, yeah. You're funny.
plus 11.
So,
Goodness.
level 19, ladies and gentlemen. You watch as another flower does illuminate and grow, and you have 3 successes now. At this point, Leah has walked up and is holding your hand, Cerise, and just kind of being in the moment. Facina and Oriana are kind of stepping back and just watching and just taking this all in. You look at Torque, and Torque's eyes are watering. He looks the combination of angry and sad. He goes to take a step forward and then retracts and takes a step back, and then just looks down for a moment, almost as if he's disappointed in himself. And as he does that, almost as if out of nowhere, you see a woman walk up who looks elven, but she's not elven. Her hair is long and silver, like silver as a coin silver. She takes her fingers very gently and just touches the bottom of Torque's chin and lifts him up. Now is not the time to be sad, Master Torque. She turns from him and bows to Oriana and Facina, and you hear them kind of whisper to each other like it's someone that they know. They're aware of her, who she is. She kneels down to Roman and puts her hand on his chest. No, Roman. This is not your end. We have known each other longer than anyone else who has known you. You've come a long way, but this is not your time. I've always known you as a stubborn goat. You will not give up this moment. And you watch as another plant flower grows and illuminates. She steps back and stands near Oriana and Facina, but doesn't say another word.
Do I have any idea who she is?
You can do a history check if you want. Saying you could too, actually.
It's a 28.
28.
History, you said?
Yep.
That'll be 13.
13. Saying there's something about her that really feels familiar. Cerise, this is Mistress Eltora of the city of Toder. She is ancient. Been around on this, the planet of Ukodor longer than Facina.
Well, Facina's been false advertising.
All these old ladies walking around.
They're all looking
Good to
good. All right.
So wait, what's her name one more time?
Eltora, Mistress Eltora.
Why do I feel like I know her?
I am at this point gonna look from her to Torque. Torque, would you please come?
Torque hesitantly does, but he does walk up.
Tell him how you feel.
We've lost too many already. Don't like you, Roman. But you're part of the family. So get off your ass. And he kind of wipes his face a little bit and walks away. Can you roll an intimidation check for him?
Sure. We're gonna go with the Kraken die. That's gonna be a 4 plus stuff.
His intimidation is a +6. So you watch as another flower does start to grow. Looks like it's about to sprout, but does not sprout.
Do I feel like there's one more left?
That's for you, yeah.
Still kneeling, with my hand on his chest and one hand in the dirt, and the ever-moving roots to my right. Roman, my friend. We've been through quite a lot together. I've seen you at your best and I've seen you at your worst. And I felt for a long time that you were over the whole thing. You were over being the hero. You were over helping others. You were over loving others. And you were over life in general. I think that you felt that you owed it to a loved one to live on for them. And I think you're right to. The world still needs you, Roman. We still need you. You still have to teach Tanahi how to be a better thief, you know? And there's others here that could use your advice. You are very old after all. So much wisdom and knowledge. We need you to come back to help us fight this. You still have ways to outthink me, out-strategize. You are one of our greatest strengths. Please come to us. And that's where I will end it.
Please roll either persuasion or nature.
I will use guidance upon myself to help my words travel even further. Ooh, today's a rough day, guys.
Just getting him out of the way.
You know, hopefully that's the thing. 16 total.
Your DC was the highest of everybody's. You watch as another flower grows and glows, and it does sprout, the red flower. The DC was 16 for you, Shinobi.
Why?
So, because you're the one doing the spell. So you watch as the Jadobi's hands are in the ground, and you watch as these flowers start to emanate even more energy. They start to almost pulsate, and they start to grow in themselves, one overlapping the other. And you watch as Roman's body starts to oh my God, what's the word?
Deteriorate?
Decompose. Decompose. Wow. You watch as Roman's body starts to decompose, leaving back the items and clothes and things that he had in his person. But you watch as his body decomposes, and almost as if by magic, you watch as all of the ash and bones and the remains of Roman gets pulled into the earth. Jadobi, please roll a D100. And just for everyone's to be aware, I have it's not mine, it's someone else's homebrew race list for the reincarnate spell with all of the playable races in D&D. Please roll a Vorpal D100, Jadobi, which is 2d10.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
So you're gonna roll the tens place first, and then.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you. So
No backseat dice rolling.
I have the spell pulled up, and I'm looking at the races, but I'm guessing you may have a longer one.
Yep, it's a longer list, and the numbers are different.
Okay, fair enough. So,
No whammies.
as you guys see his ashes being taken under to my left, I look to my right as the ever-moving roots begin to move even faster and faster and become stronger. It's no longer snakes. It's almost like huge moving anacondas under the ground. Everything moving. The earth trembles beneath your feet. Let's see. All right, we're doing the tens first. All right, 20 what? 25.
Please let it be a Kenku.
What?
Jadobi,
What sprouts from the roots? Yeah.
please roll another d10 for me.
Oh wow!
Oh gosh.
Here we go. 3.
Okay. So you wait there for several minutes, and you watch as the grass and the ground and the soil starts to meld into each other, as if there was nothing ever here. A tree in the distance starts to grow larger. Like the actual trunk of that tree grows a little larger, as if it is holding something, growing something. And you watch the tree open up, very much like when you transfer via plants. Opens up, and you see a figure walk out of the tree. Standing very tall, near 7 feet tall, with bright, shiny, silver scales. Oh, why do you all look so clear? Where have I been?
I slowly stand up and I'll look at him.
Rowan?
Hello, Roman.
Why do you look surprised to see me?
Because you are dead.
I mean, clearly I'm alive. What are you talking about?
Yes, for starters, he was dead, but you look different.
Jadobi, do you have a mirror? Show him.
I will. Denahi, could you give me one of your fur cloths? We need to put some clothes on him.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I take the wolf fur that was where the body was, and I move it over to. I run it over to him.
So
Yes.
he looks around.
I-
Yeah.
I walk over and I start kind of moving my hands as like frost begins to kind of come out of the air and make this kind of moving sphere of like a little mini blizzard. And in a blink of an eye, the ice collides to this very sleek disc, and I show him himself in this frozen mirror.
Roman walks up to the mirror and looks at it and looks very angry, concerned, and then goes, I look very young. What is going on here? Why am I a
How
dragon?
old does he look?
Maybe for a dragonborn, maybe 20s.
Okay.
He's got
20s for a dragonborn. Oh my, okay.
Like he for your purposes, he's very young. Obviously he's got
If he's 20, he's like a baby.
he's got lots of. He still remembers and retains everything, but he has a brand new body essentially.
I thought this would be a kind of an upgrade for you. A little bit of a joke. I mean, you have a ring of the sky, so it didn't really matter what you came back as. But you're very shiny.
He's just kind of staring at
Yes.
you, and he leans in.
You're,
Cerise flies up. Oh, so shiny.
He leans in. Thank you, Jadobi. Don't tell
I
anyone.
must say, you're shining almost brighter than me.
What was the second thing that he said?
He said, "Don't tell anybody." That he said, "Thank you."
Oh. Jadobi is shocked because he did not think that this would be. Jadobi thought he would be like more angry, like, "What did you do to me?"
So
but
once
he's so passive, I'm just like,
as he does that, he kind of leans back and he immediately looks to his side, and he looks down to his leg, and he looks underneath his arm, all these different places. And you actually, anybody who's looking at his face, which seems like you all are, you see his eyes are watery. You have removed all of my scars of my life. All of the constant reminders of when I first met Aniko. Reminding me that he is no longer here. And he looks at everyone. This is not what I expected, but thank you.
Cerise flies up and just like gives him a hug around the neck.
He kind of pats you on the back and he gives you a hug. He's like, and he like leans in and says to you, "This might limit my options for partnership."
But you do have that ring of change, right?
Yes, but I always try to be myself when I meet somebody.
That's fair.
And about that time, he lets go of the hug and he looks over over at Facina and Oriana, who are standing there, still very like stoic and just very powerful, but still showing that softness. And then he looks at El Tora, and his eyes get really big. What are you doing here? Is this because of you? No, Roman. That is because of your friends and what the fates have decided. That's just a very curious coincidence that I am here, and you are that. And she walks up very slowly and gives him a very deep hug. He then grabs her hand, something you've never seen Roman do, almost kneel and kiss her on her hand.
"Oh, hello there. I'm Jadobi. Nice to meet you."
My pact to you, and my devotion to you, still holds true, my queen. And then he stands back up, and then he goes to grab all his stuff. Yes,
I just kind
Jadobi.
of like look at Cerise like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I know.
I nudge saying, "Who's this bitch?"
Yes, Jadobi,
I-
I have heard of you before. Say it. I'll let you finish.
I don't know. She looks familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
She leans into you all. I am Mistress El Tora. One of the oldest creatures that is not mortal like you all, that lives in Ukodor.
So, oh, I understand.
Cerise casually just cast True Sight on herself.
Can you do a sleight of hand check for me?
Yes.
Casually.
Casually. Plus a 16.
Super cash. Super cash.
So that's a 31.
31. So as you cast True Sight, you see a smirk on her face, and what you see before you is a very large, ancient silver dragon.
Oh!
Is this the one they met in Origins?
Maybe.
Maybe.
So many dragon people in my presence right now.
Cool.
Anne would be so excited, but Denahi's
beautiful
unsure.
irony. Got it. So that is why it's a beautiful irony that she is there.
Yes, it's that, and that was Jadobi's role. That was not me either. That's really funny. Cerise, you hear a voice in your head. Please be discreet with the information you have procured. My very young, charming Cerise. If only I were a few thousand years younger. And she smiles. Like, you see her visually smile, but she's saying this in your head.
Cerise is turning bright pink. I won't tell anyone.
So
I know
only-
exactly what she said based on Cerise's expression, and Donnie's just like,
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm glad that you're here. I feel more confidence that ones that are much wiser and smarter than us are present in this meeting.
Do not count yourself short, Jadobi. You possess wisdom beyond your age. Those who have lived longer than you may not always be the wisest. Because we would not be in this situation that we are in. And she starts to raise her voice a little bit, and you kind of see Facina and Oriana just kind of... They don't really become small, but they kind of become smaller.
Oh, okay.
Because people who have lived longer than you have allowed these events to get to where they are. Things that
That's
were
what I
out of
said.
your control. And I do appreciate such young creatures as yourself, who possess godly powers to help us correct the wrong that is currently our reality. And then she kind of, it's what's a good example? Oh, Lord of the Rings, when Homegirl of the Woods, the magic user.
Oh yeah.
Where she gets like super like, and you're like, ah! That's kind of how this is. And then she kind of gets back, and she's still very stoic and beautiful, and then very like calm and gentle. So
it's like you're scared but turned on at the same time.
yeah.
Denahi, always with you.
I don't know why, but I kind of like this one.
I knew it, say it, I knew it.
Cerise is feeling all sorts of feelings.
She
What's happening?
looks to all of you. I know you all have some other things you must attend to, but please, when you are ready, please come to my council meeting. So we must begin when you arrive. And she turns, and not one person walks in front of her. She walks, and everyone follows her to the council chamber.
Damn.
Wow.
Right? Does even Roman walk off?
Roman is still getting dressed, so no, he does not walk off yet.
I'm gonna like take Sam by the arms. I'm just gonna drag him over to Roman. Like, come. I'm just gonna like hit Sam on the chest. Sam, show him how to do the breath thing.
Show him how to do the breath thing?
Yeah, he can do dragon breath now, right? Show him how to do it.
I have a potion for it.
I suppose. I mean, it's basically like breathing, but just, not.
have you ever taught anyone how to do this?
What are you talking about?
I haven't really had much exposure to others of my kind in some time, so I don't know that I've ever had a chance to really teach someone.
Well, Sayan's gonna teach you how to harness your new dragon breath.
I'm fine, I can do it myself. And he turns and kind of points in a different direction.
I walk up and cast dragon breath on myself, and then just go. And let out a bunch of flame.
So,
I can even do it.
What's the secret?
So, Saiyan, takes Roman aside and just sort of like, okay, so deep breath in, deep breath out. And then just keep doing that. Just feel the air into your lungs and exit your lungs.
I don't like it.
And yes, but you need to relax. You can only do this if you can relax.
What does that word mean?
Can you do that for me?
I don't know what that means.
Friend, you spent plenty of time dead. You can relax.
Until he has to shed his skin next month.
That part is less pleasant, but you'll get used to it.
Wonderful.
But so just in.
You know what? Let me try. And as I do this, I'm going to channel my Druidcraft, and I'm going to produce fire from my lungs. Oh, hey, it worked.
Yes, not bad. Very much like that.
Can everyone fucking do this except me? What's going on here?
I don't know why you.
Teach me how to do it too.
Didahi, the marvels that I have seen come from you are far more impressive than anything that we are attempting right now.
But I want to have dragon breath.
This is fair.
Denahi, you're like your soul power, like literally your soul power is fire. I feel like a little bit of practice and you can get it down.
Yes, I believe in you.
We'll put this on the list of to-do things while we're doing other things. We'll have a group practice of dragon breath.
Yes.
I really fucking hate this. I really fucking hate this.
So once you've relaxed,
for the next minute, I'm just gonna run around just going. Completely 100% showing off. And then when the minute's off, I'll walk up to Denahi and cast it on her so she doesn't feel left out.
Cerise is going around with plant growth, trying to fix all the plants.
And the internal grove is set ablaze.
I know, Cerise is just like around, like putting out flames, like trying to regrow plants.
If you've ever watched a cartoon where like the character eats a hot pepper and then like runs around with fire spewing out of their mouth, that's essentially Torment for a minute.
So Roman continues to do the breathing, and then eventually feels like it comes. Then he burps. Then he goes, and then you watch it, and like a little fire kind of comes out of his nose.
all right.
Oh,
give it one more try. Just a couple more breaths and give it one more try. And this time, as he's doing the exercises, when he gets ready to let out that proper exhale, Saiyan's going to give him a big old slap on the back.
Oh, I love it.
And you just watch as the fire. Oh, I feel it.
There you go.
Alright.
Yeah.
Quick question: is he a silver?
He is a silver dragonborn.
Is that not Frost?
I think that would actually be Frost, yes.
No, silver dragons breathe fire.
Okay.
Fact check.
Okay.
It is frost. You're right. Don't silver dragons specifically though breathe fire?
Not that I
No,
know.
I think it's based on whatever that list is. It's pretty
It's
like the
1 to
conversion
1.
of like
no.
Dragon
I just mean like actual dragons. Actual silver dragons breathe fire though, right?
Like in D&D or outside of D&D?
No, I don't think so.
Like real
I believe
dragons.
Now, I mean, in
believe
theory,
then-
all dragons breathe fire, but this is D&D, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
no.
it depends, but I believe it's either cold breath or paralyzing breath, depending on who you ask.
It's
they
cold.
may have a
Yeah,
paralysis.
it's actually as both on the adult dragon.
Yeah, they can do
Adult
both.
silver
Yeah.
dragon.
The metallics have 2
Mhm.
Stop it.
for the most
Oh.
part.
Good to know. I always thought that
No,
some of the metallics had fire still. Because I thought that
Yeah,
like
I
bronze.
think for fire,
Gold
it's
or-
just
gold or
golden
fire.
bronze.
Golden bronze.
Golden bronze.
Well, then it's frost. So he puts out all of your fire breath. That doesn't
He's our fire control.
doesn't look
Nice.
Alright.
Very nice.
You can only do that once per day, though, and I'm going for a minute.
I think it's actually once every short rest.
Oh,
Once a
it's
direct
short. Yeah,
rest.
you're right. I think it is
Short
short
rest.
rest. Yep.
But
Well,
very
that
good.
was-
You pick it up very quickly.
Yeah, that was good practice. It's gonna take you a while to get it back though, so don't rush yourself. All right, team. Well,
We should probably go
I-
to the council chambers now
Yeah.
and stop destroying the grove.
that's what I was thinking.
The little one is right, as usual. We should actually do our proper work now.
That was
sweet.
fun though.
Do you think Athora will be there? She's pretty important.
It seems so. It seems she kept much of the others in line, it seemed.
Athora?
Oh, Athora, excuse me.
Yeah.
No. I'm doubtful she will be there.
Oh, I haven't seen her in a while. I kind of miss her.
Hmm.
Oh, all right. I just begin to walk to the keep or wherever it's being held.
Okay. Everybody else?
So
Yep,
why
yep,
do you think? Why do you think she won't be there? This is kind of important.
She's in a deep slumber.
Oh, is she still hibernating after that whole thing with Granasso?
I actually have not been in touch with her for quite some time.
I stopped walking. I'm sorry. What? What do you mean? You haven't? Don't you like commune with her daily or something? Or no?
I try. I try to, but I haven't.
Saying, are you worried for her? Or is this normal?
I don't think there's ever been a time that I have been out of communication with her for this long.
Well, that is a bit concerning for me. Why didn't you tell us this before? She's your
Is there
patron,
anything-
yeah?
Is there anything we can do?
I actually spent most of the last year looking for her.
And you didn't tell us?
Never seemed to be a good time to bring it up. There were other pressing matters.
This matter is also pressing.
Well, perhaps Mr. Saltora will have some idea.
Why do you say that?
And then she suddenly realizes that she's not supposed to say anything. I mean, she just seems like a really powerful, important person with very strong magic. So maybe she knows. I mean, she knows. Maybe she's connected.
Why are you doing that nervous rambling thing you do when you're nervous and you hear something from us?
Yeah. Last time you spoke this way was when you were making friends with your new lady friend.
What are you hiding?
She flirted with me in my mind, and it was. I just have a lot of feelings. Okay, I don't know, and then she starts fluttering. We should get to the council meeting. We should get to the council meeting right now.
I am so proud of you. This is great news. So proud.
The second she starts fluttering a little bit faster, I'm gonna try to kind of just gently grab her by the ankle. Wait a second.
I'm making a dex check.
Hey, that's 1 hour and 11 minutes in. Someone please clip that.
Catch me if you can, Sudoku. Well, my dex save is still +10, so.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, I'll do Vorpal too.
You can maybe roll.
Oh yeah, you got it.
I need to check something real quick.
Guidance.
'Cause she might actually have +6 on this. Let me check to make sure.
So that's gonna
Yes,
be.
it's a saving throw, so she
15.
does get +6.
Unless we're doing an acrobatics check, opposed acrobatics checks. I don't know. What are we doing, Sola?
No, I mean, so Jadobi would do a dex save as well, so he'd also have a +6.
Okay, so it evens out.
Nothing changed. I didn't like move any faster. I just kind of gently took her by the ankle. Wait a second. I'm just gonna kind of pull her back. Cerise, I made an oath to Stan the other day that I was gonna be truthful about everything and tell you everything that's on my mind. Because we're
It's
a
true.
family.
I was very proud of him.
Because we're a family.
Well, I just told you.
What else are you keeping?
It seems you're doing that thing when you don't really want to be fully disclosing everything.
We've known each other for a while now.
You know, some things are just left to be unsaid. I mean, you know, I was there before you were talking. Things kind of escalated. I'm not gonna talk about it, but you guys should leave her alone. That's all I'm saying. Like, some things are kind of personal.
Thank you so much for. Yes, thank you for voicing your opinion, Pullman. I'm gonna turn my,
My
I'm
opinion
gonna
is
turn
not.
my back to him, and I'm gonna look back at Cerise.
Guys, I want to become a lich. That's why I had crystals. Trying to
Wait.
become.
Cerise, does this truly make you uncomfortable? I'll drop it if it truly makes you uncomfortable.
Why do you think I'm not nervous rambling? It's stuttering.
Because you're avoiding every question with more jumbling of words, friend. I know how you are.
I just have a random bottle of wine and I'm like pouring a glass for myself.
You always have wine.
We're gonna be late to this council
I pull out a
meeting.
tankard and hand it over to Danahi.
Oh,
Cerise, you heard
Jadobi.
the mistress said we are the council meeting. They can't start without us. But if this makes you uncomfortable, I will drop it. You do not have to.
We can come back to these later. Just we should leave her be.
great! Starts flying away.
Great.
I release her ankle. All right, I follow.
Also say, you probably noticed, at this point that Cerise, like, she always cares about her appearance, but she's changed out of the, like, fire armor and she's back in her glamored armor, and it seems like she's, like, really put an effort into her appearance today. Like, her hair's extra shiny, she's wearing this, like, glimmering, it's her glamored armor, but, like, it looks like this, like, sheer sort of, like, top that shimmers and there's, like, turns into these long slashed sleeves, and, like, a short dress that has sort of, like, I guess, like, longer flaps that go to the sides, but, like, you know, still leaves, like, a lot of, like, exposed, but has sort of these, like, I don't know, almost, like, decorative, like, shin splints. She looks very put together. But now she looks very frazzled because she's trying not to, get herself in trouble with the silver dragon.
As you fly towards the council meeting, you hear the voice in your head. You do better than most, young Ceres. Perhaps I underestimated you.
Cerise does not know how to respond to this, but she's mortified that that entire exchange was watched.
This cougar needs to calm down, all right? Clarissa's a baby. You need to just calm down, lady.
1 to 2 orders of magnitude older than me.
Thousands of years younger was the comment. So
That was.
anything else you all are doing on your way over there?
I'm all out of combo. I'm just walking.
Flap, 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 flap.
No, I'm good. I'm just hanging out.
As you all begin to walk towards the council meeting, JW, you hear someone call out from the back, from far, far left of you. You hear, Jadobatanka, where are you going, brother?
I turn and look at the voice.
It is your father and brother that is walking up towards you.
For my team that's seeing my Surendornian father for the first time, and my eldest elven brother for the first time, can you tell them what they look like?
You can describe them if you'd like.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do it then. So you see a tall, fair-skinned high elf man. He has long blonde hair that, when it gets down to kind of the tips, it kind of waves and gets kind of like brighter. He is adorned in most likely military robes
And armor.
decked out in armor, and his robes are a color of I believe it's a dark maroon and silver. He looks very stern, very like just the noblest of the noble, this guy. Like, you can just tell by looking at him, the way he walks, the way he probably has his hand on, his sheathed sword. Like, this guy is just like,
Yeah.
And the other, who was my dad, you see this human-looking man. He's the darkest man you have ever seen. He's damn near pitch black midnight. His hair is a long black curly mane. You can see some silver within. He has a lot of my facial features. He has like a very nicely trimmed beard with some gold bindings in it. He wears the noblest of robes.
Fancy.
He wears a deep green, and he has accents of gold within them. And even the cloth itself is a very intricate designed cloth. It's very, very high tier. You're probably drawn to his eyes, which are a silver, which is really it's an attention grabber from him. His extremely dark skin, and he probably most likely has like this sash that kind of goes from one shoulder down to like probably nearly the floor of elaborate design that's just speaks of the highest tier of class. Father?
Something to add to your brother's. It's something that you haven't seen in a really long time, because the elves haven't been in war mode in a while. But when the elves fly their colors, because they are maroon and silver, the silver on the robes and such is that of a dragon. They're the symbol of Donadel, of the army of Donadel, and the elves of old is a silver dragon. But you do yell out, Father. Danka. And he comes in and he gives you like a deep hug. Like
I take it! Oh, so good to see you! I'm glad you're here!
And your brother walks up and kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. Marenzin, it's good to see you.
Perthes, it's good to see you too. I am surprised to see you off Donadel right now. Very surprised. But I guess the situation is very dire. I am glad you are here.
Thank you.
And I kind of first go for like an elven bow because I know how he is. I'm just like, oh fuck it, and I like give him a hug too.
Yeah, he you see him like very like stiff, like get off me, like in Step Brothers. But then he actually just takes it and he kind of gives you like a stiff pat, kind of embraced hug.
And for my elven brother, you guys see that him and I have the same piercing green eyes. Wow. This I was not expecting. How did you get... Well, of course you all are on the council, but...
We were summoned here, so we are here to represent the elves and the unity with the Searendorns. I was able to bring father with us, your father with you, with us, words. But we had to leave your sisters back on Danadel.
How is Donadel right now? I know it is under high alert, but how extreme is it? Are you still on the map?
You know much about our culture, Jadobi. Danadel is no longer on the material plane. She is protected. For now.
I'm gonna turn to my party that I kind of forgot once I saw my family. I'm gonna turn to my party. Everyone, I'd like you to meet my eldest brother. This is Perthes Arlor Menethil. He is...
Kind of puts his arm on his chest and gives you all like a bow.
He is the head general of the Donadelian army. And, of course, on the council of Donadel itself. And this is my father. This is Ron Tarnuk Watakubi.
These are the people that you have written me about, Jadobi. And he just starts hugging you all, like just going in and giving you guys more hugs. Even saying and Torque, like he's not a small man, and he does look older, but those hugs are like, oh, ow, oh, what's like he's getting in there with those hugs.
So Sam was in the middle of attempting to give him a respectful bow and gets taken aback as soon as he gets this hug. Very pleasantly taken aback, but nonetheless.
And he walks up to Denahi and kind of puts his hands on both of your arms and just looks at you. And you must be Denahi.
I am.
Jadobi has talked so much about you.
Not shit, I hope.
No. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for keeping my boy alive. And he just pulls you in for a good hug.
I told him you were basically my sister.
Oh, okay. She's just very shy.
The hugs and everything complete, Saiyan gets back to what he was attempting to do, was to give them a respectful bow. Saiyan Sark at your service. Your son, your brother, has been a important part of our team, and we would not be here today were it not for him. You should be very proud of your boy.
He saved my life countless times.
You kind of see
First time I felt like I had a brother again.
You kind of see his eyes kind of tear up a little bit, and he just looks at you all just super warming. Shinobi's brother is standing there, and when Saiyan bows, he does think, "A respectable man. Enough of this gushy stuff." And he kind of turns and starts to walk towards the council meeting. But Jidobi's father stays there and just takes it in. And just keeps like going up and like grabbing Jidobi's face and just like being really happy that he's here.
And as he's like grabbing my face, like moving it around, I'm gonna yell out to my oldest brother who was walking away. Perthes, they won't start without us.
As he's walking like just like very military, very like shoulders back, head up, just kind of almost like he's marching on his own. Like he is RoU, like to the key. And as he's walking, anyone who looks just sees him go, and then keeps walking.
You guys see Jidobi light up. Like, I mean, you've seen him happy before and everything, but being in the presence of family that he probably hasn't seen in a while, like, you guys see him just like, oh, you guys are meeting the rest of my family. It only took 2 years.
I talk in the microphone. Has he met your son yet?
Of course he has. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Saiyan visibly lights up in a way that the group likely hasn't seen in a while, just very visibly happy seeing this interaction between Jidobi and his family.
All right, shall we?
As you all continue to embrace the love and the family, reality settles back in, and all of you gather together and begin to walk towards the council chambers. And as you enter that space, and the door opens, you see a lot of familiar faces. Much different atmosphere than the other council meeting that you had attended. At the head of the table, you do see El Tora sitting very patiently, writing in some book of sorts. That's where we're actually going to take a break. So, ! Raffle in the Twitch chat to enter in the mid-show giveaway, and we will be back in about 10 minutes, y'all. See you guys soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Ah!
And welcome back. So, you all are heading into the chamber. The people that you see Jadobi's brother sits down, father next to him. You see Ina across from them, along with the person who I forgot his name, but used to be Ian. Apologies. You see Facina and Matara and Satina, Orax, Ducato and Varus, Mistress Altora, like I said, at the head of the table. You see Max and Kurdon, Sinfried and Garad, the leader of the Goliaths. Unos is sitting right next to Altora on her left. The seat on her right is empty, vacant. The other side of the table, near your side, where there are 6 seats waiting for you all, sits Roman, and next to Roman is Warwick and Kenrick. And Kenrick is looking at Roman. Roman is still Roman and talking like Roman, and as you recall, Kenrick is a red dragonborn, and you're hearing some of the deepest guttural laughs you've ever heard from Kenrick, because he's known Roman for a while, and he just finds this very humorous. But it quickly settles down as you hear Altora clear her throat. Wait for it. There it is.
I don't sit, by the way. I stand behind Cerise.
Okay.
But why? And then Cerise is like, what are you doing?
Well, I look around and see if Leah is going to sit next to Cerise and take my spot. So that way I can move being behind Jadobi.
There is another seat, so you could do that, and you leave that seat open, and Leah does get that hint, sits down next to Cerise.
Or I do the awkward thing where I let Leah sit in between me and Cerise, so that way I can be the awkward dad on the other side. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that.
I'll allow it.
I like that.
Some of the people start to shift over.
I like make
Cerise
people shift
messages.
over, like, this is special day. Just move over. Once in a lifetime, I get to be in such meeting. It's okay. Just move over. I'm here. Thank you.
You actually see Altora kind of smirk for a moment. Lightbringers.
You're terrible!
It is.
You're welcome.
I'm about to speak. You hear it in all of your voices.
All of our voices?
All of your minds. You hear Altora does speak to all of you, but is still very playful and still very enjoying this. Thank you, Lightbringers, for coming to this council meeting. It is a grave time that we all are here. A meeting such as this, with people all over the planes of existence meeting in one place. My younger sister will be joining us very shortly, but we must begin as soon as possible.
Younger sister? She
Lightbringers,
thinks to herself?
Lightbringers, you have obtained some information. Please, inform the council of your findings.
I look over to Cerise. Cerise, you were the first one to start connecting some dots. Can you start us off in conversation?
Very well. Cerise stands up. So, Justina may have already informed you in calling here that Vulrak has opened up a path in the 9th level of hell for Riha to escape. She's already in the 11th level of hell, last that we heard. In trying to understand Vulrak's motives, we began to suspect that he may have been the creator of Riha, since we know that he has created gods before.
You start to hear everybody in the room just start to kind of like whisper, oh no, all this other stuff. Because there are other people in this room. You all are like the main council, but there are probably 100 people in this room just packed in to feel out what's going on.
In divining, used magic to try and divine more information about this, and I was able to confirm that Volrock was Riha's creator, that he was the source of darkness when she first lived on the Verdant Plateau. He was the creator of Victor himself, not even Riha. And he somehow tricks people the last 3,000 years ago when he had an Atropo in Hylac. And during that time is when he would manage to create Riha.
Some of the greatest ruses that have happened in this land. And I am ashamed to have believed the information that I was given during that time. It happened in my lands, under my watch. We were all deceived. Please, continue.
Let's see. When trying to find more information about Volrock managed to intercept this magic and talk to me himself directly. I do not know what, if anything, he was able to get from me, but he confirmed he created Riha, that he does want her free, though it does not necessarily expect her to welcome him. And he also confirmed that his phylactery is hidden in the Book of Corruption.
And as you say that, she gets super eye-cutting at Jadobi's brother, specifically, and Facina. The book that we had in our possession, and she just looks over at them, had his phylactery in it. When you kind of watch her eyes, like the crackles of just magical energy, kind of just, like her face is still very relaxed, but her eyes are telling a totally different story. And then she calms them down. And I am assuming by all the information that you have given me that Volrock is now in possession of his book and his phylactery. So when you killed him recently, he is safe and sound in his tower, I am assuming.
Saiyan shifts uncomfortably after hearing this and speaks up. I tried to take it from him, but he was able to summon a portal to transport it away.
Master Saiyan, the fault is not yours. You all were put in an extraordinary situation that you were not prepared for, against the enemy that not one person in this room is able to defeat. The fact that you are still alive, being ill-prepared and weakened, shows your strength. Volrock has slipped our grasp for thousands of years. The very fact that he wants to he has opened the gate of the 9th level of hell so his pet can be freed, knowing that she is going to hunt him down and slay him, shows how demented he is. But we cannot let that happen either. If Riha obtains the Book of Corruption magic, she will become even stronger than she currently is. She kind of closes her eyes for a second and kind of feels this jolt of energy, and then looks straight at Saiyan. There are two things that she is looking for. That book and her sword. And like the room is still kind of like mutter, and they all get quiet and they all look at Saiyan.
Yes, true. I am currently in possession of the sword of Jocelyn the White. And he draws out the sword from his back and doesn't take it into his hand as if he is intending to wield it, but instead just holds it in a neutral position so that it's shown that he's not trying to be threatening with it. Just presents it both hands.
She is like what's a good example? You know, like all those different science experiments or sci-fi movies where like you can like read a person's like vitals and you can see that they're like freaking out or whatever. Like you can see that she's totally reading you. She smirks again. Yes, Sam. Hold that sword close to you. That is the only weapon we have, is to destroy the orb, the source of Riha's power. While it won't kill her, it will weaken her. Keep it safe. Do you all have a plan to obtain this book?
Well, the thing is, we are. You've spoken of destroying this orb, and of course keeping that sword safe. But maybe if time happens to be on our side, we don't know how fast she is moving through the hills. Like so. Maybe, and I look towards Lady Oriana. If we know of anyone that are in those levels, those rings of hell, to contact her, to kind of give us an idea of how quickly she is moving and making progress, that can maybe help us in the long run of planning and just being prepared. Do we have anyone like that in those rings?
And as Lady Oriana is about to speak, you hear a voice coming from the crowd and steps forward. Mistress Atora, my name is Nestro. I have worked closely with Fasina in secret underneath Lady Oriana, only to protect her. Myself and some other insurgents, we have navigated the levels of hell. And we have made it as far as the 10th level of hell. With a small party, we could go there to track her movements. She kind of gives him a nod. That is...
maybe... I'm sorry. Continue.
That is one option. However, I do not... I am open to other ideas. We have lots of threats. We have lots of points of interest for Riha, should she pass through that gate. We need to discuss defense measures. We are already beginning evacuations of all major cities on all major planes. We are trying to figure out where she might go and where we shall make a stand. We cannot fight this war divided.
There is one additional...
Go on.
There is one additional complication. The obelisk orb, which you've mentioned before, according to our most recent intel, still lies in Visidius.
Say this one more time.
The obelisk orb, which we have mentioned before is crucial to Riha's downfall, still lies in Visidius.
Your information is incorrect, young Seiya. Riha lies in Visidius. The obelisk lies in the mirroring 12th tomb of the Betrayer Gods. In these swamps.
Yes,
in
is that not in Visidius?
No, that is in northern Hylac.
See.
That is where a group of adventurers many years ago traveled to defeat Vulrak. Well, not Vulrak specifically, but a soulmonger. Where I was told that job was completed, and the being that he was trying to create was destroyed. But it seems that the former land of the dying bog, which now lies a desolate wasteland, buried many levels down, lies the orb. Perhaps she will go there when she leaves the 9th level of hell. Perhaps she will come here. We are unsure. And when she says that, everyone starts to argue. Max is like, we need to protect Idean! And then Ina starts, calmly chiming in about Edak, and you hear, what's his nuts? Curtin about Riha, or about Rennie, and then you hear Singfried about Hanta's Pass. And there's just everyone just kind of arguing, deliberating that their location is more important than the other person. You see some of the more calm members of the council just kind of shaking their head, and she kind of slams her fist on the ground. Enough! And you kind of hear like a growl when she says enough. This is why we are holding this council meeting. We are trying to figure this out. I do not know where we should place our defenses. I do not know where we make a final stand. An assault, meeting her and all of her legions. The most recent information that I have procured is that she is attempting to obtain the armies of Vulrak himself, the legions of monstrosities and demons that he has been creating for 100 years in the Shadow Ward and the Abyssal Plane. And then she starts to get really irritated, and you can also see that Unos is getting equally as irritated. And her creations have been growing as well. You have killed one of them, and I thank you for that. Nevries is a disgrace to our race. And she does say our race. There will be armies of her megachromatic dragons coming through that portal as well. She has been raising them for 1,000 years. When I say that we must all work together, I say this with the most sense of urgency and desperation to avoid the annihilation of all creatures of the light. And just kind of just looks a little lost and hopeless for a moment as she looks at all of you.
I'm gonna speak out to Nestro. Nestro, you say that you were trying to evacuate the cities in the multi-planes. Where would you go? Where could you possibly evacuate the existence of an entire dimension?
Well, our original idea was to take the majority of the families. We cannot take everyone, but we were going to try to bring them to Danadel that no longer exists on the material plane. And he kind of gets really irritated and looks at your brother. But I understand the elven ways. I don't have an answer. We are trying to get the smaller villages and towns into the major cities, into all the fortified forts and bases and subterranean bunkers and such that we can. There are many races of people that are retreating to the dwarves and goblins of the mountains in Soros. believe it or not, the goblins are complying with these requests. Everyone in this moment seems that all the racial angers and ancient fights seem meaningless in this moment of annihilation. Everyone is hiding. Everyone is holding on to the ones that they hold dear. We can't evacuate everyone. We can only collectively grow in these cities. Thousands of people are running to Taidian. Thousands of people are heading to Sirgan Gorge and Rennie and Hantis Pass, Edak. Some of the other major cities across the continents. Even the elemental planes are doing the same thing. No one is safe from Riha once she gets past the 10th level of hell.
You say that as if it's a definite.
I don't know what options we have.
We only have one option. Riha cannot make it past the 10th level of hell.
Uncle, I wish I could have asked you this in private, but things tend to move fast. We know that Volrock was pulling strings to get back his tone. In a divination, it was told to us that it was you who took that tone. I am not pointing fingers at you. I have seen the power. What, DM?
No, good.
I have seen the power of Volrock take a life in a dimension where he shouldn't have been able to reach. Not before my eyes. But I want to ask you, are you certain that you have completely been untouched since then by him?
You do see a bead of tear just roll down his face. Facina and some of the other nobles of this council don't look shocked at this news. Yes, Zudobi, that is true. I was manipulated by Volrock, which is why he kept me alive. But since then, and he kind of moves his hair out of the way, you see a very similar circlet over his forehead. I am protected from his intrusion again.
As he does that, I reach into my bag and I pull out another, the one that I took from Roman.
Hey.
Uncle, where did you get that circlet?
Well, I made it for him. And at that point, Leroy walks in. Well, walks up. He's in the group too.
Leroy.
Yes. Facina called to me when she found out the people who have been manipulated by Volrock, and I had to take some of those magics and try to devise something that's a little bit stronger than your typical mind blank and things like that. It had to be very specific to the connection that he has with Volrock and all that.
Did you make this one as well?
Yes, sir.
How many do you have?
Just the two. It's unfortunately with my knowledge of this, it's not something we can create right now. It has to be, unfortunately, after the fact. So after you have been manipulated or he has poked his little grimy fingers in your mind, that you can we can obtain some of that arcane the arcane goodies from that, and to try to protect you from further. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
DM, in our last encounter with Volrock, were any of us afflicted by him mentally?
He's talked to you, but he has not, for the lack of a better term, puppeted you.
Copy.
Because
But he has
the mind blank stuff that you guys have do help keep you from being puppeted. He has cast a different corruption spell to try to do that, but he has not been successful with any of you yet. No.
So, Leroy, are you telling me that this circlet will not work for me? This was of someone else. Are you saying that each circlet has to be for a specific person?
Correct. So, if you're holding that, and Nestro is here, that tells me that Vendry is no longer with us. Is that correct?
Correct. He is currently sleeping.
But yeah, yes. To answer your question, yes. The circlet is connected to your essence, your soul, essentially. So it only works for the one creature.
So I will not be able to use this circlet which I hold.
Unfortunately, no. I'm sorry, Jadobi.
Do I feel like he's being truthful?
You need an insight check. Yes, Leroy has been very helpful with our fight against corruption magic. Probably one of the most knowledgeable creatures we have on the subject. It is the whole reason why we obtained that book was to start trying to dissect that information. But unfortunately, the elves took it from us. And she looks again at Facina and then your brother. This is Eltora speaking again. Before we could get all of the details and informations. I understand your meanings, but sometimes being too protective will leave you vulnerable. What was your role?
A natural one.
Oh, you believe him.
Okay. What is as the mistress keeps darting these these dagger looks, these looks of, I don't know the phrase. I'm trying to say the phrase, but staring daggers, I think is the right thing to say.
Yeah.
When she gives my brother that stern look, what is his reaction? How is he react?
He is thousand mile stare, just like when you get yelled at in the military. He is just looking, not at the person that's yelling at you, looking past him, just like, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. But he's not doing that. He's just being he's taking it in. Facina looks a little different. Facina is definitely visibly looking more weak every time that you see her.
Okay.
Cerise chimes in with the talking about using this book to study corruption magic. Or using corruption, the book. While we were in the fire ward, we met an old elven woman named Lama Nafa, and she offered to make us potions that could resist corruption magic if we were able to obtain the book. She did. Who's responding?
That's Eltor is speaking. I haven't seen her in quite a long time.
She is an interesting woman. Perhaps we can use the talents of those who we trust and who we are familiar with, though.
Of all the gods and goddesses, she is my favorite.
I'm sorry?
She's found a loophole to meddle with the people of Ukodor. Long ago, Izir banned all gods and goddesses from walking on the lands of Ukodor. For the simple reasons of what Riha is trying to do now. Which is even more dangerous, that if she does get to the 9th level of hell and plane shifts to anywhere, there is nothing any god or goddess can do about it. She then becomes more powerful than any of them. But what you say is true, child. She can help us, and she is willing to jeopardize her status as a goddess, to continue to meddle in mortal affairs, to assist us in this fight, should you obtain the book.
Which seems like should be our first goal.
You know, I have such a stupid question. I apologize. But after all this new knowledge and the things that I have experienced, what is the definition of a god? I am starting to feel that it's a title that many can gain and lose, which is not something that I have thought that comes with such a status of godhood.
It is not easy to obtain that status. If it was, I would be one myself. But I am not. To lose it, per se, you do not actually lose your status, but you are banished far away to live in eternity alone and isolated.
That sounds horrible.
But she is willing to risk that for you all and for all of us here to stop Riha. More than I can say that any other god is caring to do now.
I keep hearing the same thing of oh, if she makes it past this ring, then no god can help, and she becomes stronger than them, and all the above. What can they do now?
Well, young Jadobi, they could do a lot now. But they choose to do nothing. They leave us to the will of Wurak, who spits in the face of what they stand for, who is a constant reminder of how small those gods are, that some creature like Wurak can put himself above them and create his own gods. They spend too much time fighting amongst themselves over nothing. We are mere ants to their ways.
Well, there- Oh.
Is it common knowledge that Riha was once an angel? Is that common knowledge to everyone here?
Not everyone, but yes, the people who matter. No. Well, we knew Jocelyn's origin story, and we thought we knew how she was created. But again, the ruse of Wurak grows deeper with every moment.
I will stand and I will speak out to everyone in this building, this meeting. I have spoken to the goddess of wisdom and war. My friend here, Denahi, she has spoken to the god of fire and blacksmithy. Who here has spoken to Azir.
Everyone kind of looks around, like waiting for someone to speak. And you hear a voice come from the door, like someone who just walked in. I have spoken to Azir. And everyone starts to kind of talk and smatter, saying you recognize her voice. And as she walks into the room, she's a very beautiful woman, looks very much like Eltora, but with gold hair. And kind of just gently puts her hand on your shoulder, saying, I'm sorry I have not been speaking to you.
Saiyan very quickly, stumbling, falls down on one knee and bows to this figure.
Rice.
We recognize her as well.
Yeah, you do, actually. I forgot she was in her normal form. I totally forgot about that. Yes, you do. It is Elthora. Rise, my champion. This is not the time for you to kneel to me.
Yes, yes, of course. And he gets back up and attempts some sort of stature.
And she kind of gives Jadobi and the rest of you kind of a little bow. My older sister is a little emotional sometimes. And she kind of walks towards the head of the table and takes that empty seat next to Eltora. And sits down. Not all. She kind of looks just like siblings. Looks at Eltora. Not all of the gods have turned their backs on us. What Jadobi says is true. Some of the gods are trying to find ways to help. Azir, however, will not be swayed. He is ashamed of the things he has created. He's ashamed of what his daughter has turned into. We will not be getting his help in this endeavor. But he will also not stop us from doing what we must to survive, which I think is more powerful than his help.
So you're telling me the God of gods, the almighty creator, God of the sky, God of victory, is so ashamed of his own creation that he will leave it to destroy all of his creations?
Jadobi, now a father, what would you do if your son turned out to be the most evil creature in this world?
He would not ever.
Azir was that naive as well.
I would do what I must as a father
He
to
tried.
help.
He tried. For thousands of years he tried. She has grown monumentally strong, and with what Vurak has given her, Azir will not lift a finger to harm his daughter, even in her current form. But yes, he is ashamed and would rather all of us die than intervene.
I'm starting to get like a little bit of like an undertone of something else in this campaign, but we'll I'm kidding. All right. I'll look to Denahi. Denahi, could you please share with everyone what some of the things that you have gained from speaking to the God of Fire?
I do not remember.
I'll say it for you, Denahi.
Thank you.
One too many glasses of wine.
As we got message as we reached at a fire. He let us know of Volrock's greatest weaknesses. He let us know what we could expect once going into that spire. He is full of himself. He has boundless pride that can be used against him.
Yes.
He has an army of demons that he chooses to let stay miles away under him in the rift and the nothingness of the Shadow World. The spire that he is in is protected only by him and perhaps a number of traps within that I think he thinks is enough to take care of any trespasser. Those are his weaknesses. However, if we are to go into that spire, which we must, well, maybe there is a way to get him out. I feel that it would be best to have a bit of backup going in there, seeing as he may not want to use his demonic army, but they are there, miles away as they may be. But I think it might be something that we should also prepare for. What say you all? Does anyone here have a percent of their armies that we can have for backup while going into the Shadow World once again to take down this immense threat? One who wishes to see everything burn for his own enjoyment.
You see everyone just start to kind of like argue and talk amongst themselves. Max actually leans forward and looks to you all. So what you're saying, Jidobi, is you want us, humans and mortals, to travel to the Shadow World, place of fear and darkness, to protect you all as you go into the tower? Or do you want us to attack the demon army in the abyssal plane?
I think for now what would be smarter and safer, please any of my party feel free to chime in on this if you think otherwise or have something to add. But I think that going into the Shadow World, we should not specifically go and attack this demonic army that is not around its keep. I think it would be helpful if you were just there, prepared for anything that would come our way once we enter this seemingly empty place. He has pride, but everything falters at a point.
At
He
that
could
point,
call his
Yeah.
own.
oh, go ahead.
Yes, Sam.
At this point, Saiyan chimes in.
Okay.
There was far too much loss of life the last time we entered the Shadow World. We cannot ask that of these people again. If what we know about Volrock is true, his ego will far exceed any defenses that he could possibly have at his keep. I don't think we should ask these people to risk their lives here.
Do you think we can take on an arm? Let's say, let's hypothetically, I agree with you that his pride and his ego can very well be his downfall, but we have to keep in mind that there's a chance that he can call this demonic army. Do you think if we go in there alone, the 6 of us, 6 only, into a demonic war,
7. Roman
7,
chimes in.
7 even, that we could make it out alive? Let's say hypothetically that once we are in that spire, there were not arcane traps and triggers to keep us within that spire, to keep us from warping anywhere. And we're alone. And he calls it this army.
I think
What
he'd be
then?
less likely to call his army if it's just the 6 of us than if we bring a horde of people with us. If we bring
Agreed.
an army, he'll bring his army.
If what I know about Vurok is true, like Saiyan said, his ego comes before everything. He will lure us to his tower, or he will place wards and traps to keep us there until we defeat him. He is somewhat honor-bound in that way. If we brought force, he would bring force as well, and demon and humankind would clash. While we still fought Vurok. The fight isn't about demon and humankind. It is about killing that bastard, getting his book, and fighting Riha. That is all that fucking matters.
For once, I agree with him. That is all that fucking matters.
You see,
Say
I
it.
have said my piece, and I will bow toward those leading the council, create a magnificent mansion, and walk into it.
Oh my god.
well, you see Varus, who you met in the water ward. He takes off his helmet, which I don't believe he's ever done in your vicinity. And you do see, I'm blanking on his race right now, but you do see that his like half of his face is what looks to be almost like corroded and burnt and decayed almost.
He's a Triton?
I can't remember if he was a Triton or if he was, I'd have to pull up the notes.
Fair enough. It's okay.
The other one, whatever Ducato was, but I'm super blanking on that. I think he was half, because Ducato was something and then his wife was something else. Doesn't matter.
Water. Okay.
Yeah.
What was Nips?
Oh yeah, so it's
easy to say,
water,
right?
it's water, Genasi, and Triton. Yeah, that's it. That's what it was.
Mm.
It was I can't remember.
Fair
I
enough.
made the race, so I can't remember what it is. Doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
But he takes his helmet off, and you see that half of his face looks like it's corrupted. I agree
With that.
with Torment. I think you all, maybe with some help, might have a better chance to stealthily enter his domain. Yes, there will be traps, but it feels like he is waiting for you there.
The last time we faced him, we were on the brink of death. This time we'll be at full strength.
But in his home turf, say. Vorak's
True.
armies, his magics, are powerful. But what are we doing about everything else? How
I
do I
have a
protect my
question.
people in the water ward?
I have a question. If the obelisk orb is in the material plane in Hylac, how is it defended? Is it defended? Can we just go there and smash the orb? Should that be the first thing we do? Because if we can deal that
If we beat
blow,
Riha to it, yes.
Well, we have attempted this, and this is Altora speaking. We have attempted this, and we have made it as far as the 10th level of this tomb. There are strong magics protecting that level that we have yet to break to get to the last levels, the last tombs.
So I guess the question we have to ask is, we better off eliminating the immediate threat of Volrock? Or do we find the orb and destroy it before Riha can reach us?
What kind of magic is protecting it?
I don't know. Magic's beyond mine and some of the members here. Beyond their skills. I haven't gone, but I've read the archives and my assumption is it is some sort of corruption magic. The same magics that were there to create Riha and those other things. I mean, the orb itself is corruption magic. That very essence of that orb could destroy corruption magic completely. Which is why we need to do that to kill Riha completely.
Then I think that answers our question. It seems that we need to destroy Volrock and get our hands on that book. Make a visit to our deity friend. And that'll give us the edge we need to take care of the orb.
Well, when you put it like that, that makes a lot of sense. Then, Leroy, you shall accompany them on this journey. I will what?
You what?
Yes, ma'am. You were saying
How
something?
fare you in combat, friend?
I can handle my own. Jadobi, you were saying something?
I was. What? I think I might have lost my train of thought. Do we need... Saying, you were telling us something before about that sword and the obelisk orb. Only that sword can destroy that orb, yes?
Yes. From what we know.
So we do not need the tome to do that. So, alright. And forgive me if I am reciting anything that was already said. I agree that our first course of action is to think of a way to basically get the book away from Roark. Go to his spire, perhaps fight him, the whole 9 yards. Try to get the damn book. Bring that book back here to those of power that could get it to this goddess of luck. And while they and her are studying this tome, in our time, we can go to Hylac to try to destroy this obelisk orb while they're doing their research. Hopefully by the time we return, all items needed will perhaps be made.
Well,
The only issue... Sorry, please.
I thought we were going to say the same thing of what Saiyan had said earlier, is that we would need we would need the book to understand how to break through the corruption magic to even get to the orb.
Yes, our last few experiences with this very dark magic. We did not walk away from it easily. In fact, some of us were actually lost to it.
Leroy, when they were down in these tombs, were they still able to communicate with those outside of the tomb? Or was all communication magic just cut off once you entered?
Once you pass the ninth tomb, all communication and teleportation is is blocked. Yes.
All right. I guess we'll just kind of have to play it by ear. Once we obtain the tome, get it to where it needs to be. Maybe after they looked it over and find somewhat of a time frame for making certain things that will be needed, then we can make our journey and hopefully be back by the time they suggest. What else? Everyone was yelling and arguing about what to do about saving their people, protecting their people, and moving them. My question to you is, what can you do to protect yourself from a goddess? What can you do?
Who are you talking to?
To everyone. I'm not looking at any specific person. I'm talking to everyone.
Got it.
The best for any religious people who are here, please feel free to chime in, but as far as I stand, there's nowhere you can run, in my own opinion. I don't know. I've been learning a lot of things about gods lately. Things are all wibbly blobbly. I don't even know anymore. But from my basic knowledge, you can't run from a goddess unless you, of course, walk to some kind of fey dimension that no one else can reach you. That's a whole other thing. But maybe they can just live their lives as they can, prepare themselves for anything, and pray to their gods.
That's all
Voices.
one can do.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Voices
fates are already decided. Everything I've learned, and I've never believed in the gods, and my kind have been slayed by them, people who follow them. One thing they would preach about is their fates are decided. I've been told by a god I guess I speak to now. My fate's been decided also, which we've also been told. All we can do is fight our best. I believe we'll win, because we always have. We can do this, and we will.
The one place that I disagree is that fate's decided. It is not. None of us know for sure what will happen going forward. But the one thing that we all can have is faith. Faith that the right people will stand up, will face this evil, and will bring an end to this darkness. If we work together, we can come out of this on the other side.
I agree. Voices are like doves. The more doves people send to their gods, bombard them with their voices and their words and their prayers, perhaps it will tug on some of their attention. As for the possible line of defense in the 10th ring of hell, who can spare some people, some warriors, defenders, to go down and make a line while we're out doing what we need to do and doing what we think is best? On your end, what can you spare to this front line of defense by this goddess who hopefully will not break that door?
So everyone starts to kind of look at each other and argue and fight and just start to kind of get a little honoring. And Max looks at you all again. So your plan is to obtain this book, get whatever defenses you need to defeat Riha. And you are tasking us, the free people of the light, to head to Kenya, the 10th circle of hell, to hold our ground against whatever Riha puts forth towards us, until you join us in this fight and kill her where she stands. Is that what I am hearing from you, Lightbringer?
I do not ask of you anything, as you are free to do as you will. But I feel that the best thing to do right now is to have a line of defense down there. I can't ask any of you to send all of your armies and leave yourselves completely unprotected on the material plane, or the fire plane, or the plane of water, or all the above. But maybe if each one sends a percent to create a full army, a massive front line, then yes, you can go down there as we try to gather all this protection and knowledge and anything that we can possibly get our hands on to better help us, to better help the people, to better help life itself. Because if we don't, and we sit here and we wait and pray against it, she's free to keep moving. If
What we
do
face
nothing,
right now, sorry.
no, I just wanted to add. If we do nothing and keep to ourselves and keep to our towns and keep to our cities ourselves, then the bad guy wins. She will come to each one, maybe all at once because she is a goddess, maybe one by one. She will wipe us all out. Sayan, what did you want to add?
Mostly a reiteration of much of what you have already said. What we face right now is a fight for existence. She makes it to the surface. This battle is over. She's already won. But if we work together, we might stand a chance. As much as we will try, we cannot be in two places at once. And we need those key tools to fight this war and to stand a chance. There are many scenarios that this can go to. One of those scenarios, we win.
About that time, you see all the leaders of the different cities and the different factions. Everyone's kind of arguing, deliberating between themselves, and you see Kurdan, that very honorary orc from the city of Rennie. You can have half our army. And then someone else says, you can have, part of my army. And everyone's like starting to chime in that you can have part of our army. And it's starting to kind of like do this. It's uplifting to a point. And then you hear these two hands just hit the table hard. And you watch as the wood on the table actually splits. And Warwick stands up and looks at everyone. You are all fools, all of you. You do not know darkness as I do. That same darkness that breathes through Volric's blood. The same darkness that goes through Riha. You cannot just send half of your armies. She will destroy us all. There's no reason to send half of your armies. If she gets through that line, we are all dead. We need every able body. Anyone worth fighting for their life to be on those front lines. It doesn't matter what your quarrel is. It doesn't matter what your status is. Rich or poor, orc or human. This is a fight for our lives. You can go back to your squabbling and your politics when the light and the dust settles. These Lightbringers have brought us back from deep into the darkness. They will have all of my able men. All of them. you will have our blood and our blades. And if we all shall die, we shall die shoulder to shoulder, fighting for the very life that we fight for. He sits back down.
DM, Warwick is no longer a werewolf, yeah?
Correct.
I'm gonna stand from my chair. I'm gonna turn and casually walk to the door of Tormund's magnificent mansion. I will wave my hand and cast Dispel Magic at 9th level.
So Tormund pops back out.
Please tell me he wasn't in the bath.
Okay. So,
What do I see when Tormund pops out of the mansion?
Oh, you're casting counterspell on the mansion?
No, Dispel Magic.
Dispel magic?
And you can't see me do it because you're on the inside.
Technically, do you still have to technically roll for that, depending on the level?
Is that at 9th level?
Is it a 9th level spell?
Oh, yeah, no. Then
There we go.
Tormund pops back out with his endless flask. I have you disturbed me.
Wake up. This is not the time for that.
Oh, I'm not sleepy. I'm just really drunk.
I'm going to turn and walk back to my seat. Cerise, can you handle that?
I don't think I have the spells that remove poison. But Saiyan does. Can you sober him up?
Usually this only works on magic, but I can try.
I mean, if you can do cure disease and poison or something.
Out of game, technically my flask is magical, so
Then yeah. So Saiyan is going to take his amulet in his hand, whisper a few words, and put his hand gently on Tormund. His hand is going to glow with kind of this warming energy, and assuming it works correctly, you should sober up. As he hits you with a cleansing touch.
DM.
That's a new one for me. Sure, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
What do you want?
You don't get the luxury of saying your piece and then disappearing into your magical mansion. This talk is for all of us. This talk is for the Lightbringers. This talk is for the Ascendants of Light. This talk is for the Alliance of Light. This talk is for all humanity and life itself. And this talk is also for the travelers. So sit in your chair and be present.
And Cerise casts message to Tormund. She's like, he has a point. You really should be here. Besides, who's going to embarrass me to Leah?
I won't sit, but I'll stand behind Cerise.
Okay. And about that time, Tormund, you do hear a voice in your head, and it is El Tora. Tormund, I understand your pain and your sorrow. I see your connection with your friends here now, the Lightbringers. And I knew the travelers. And I knew their fate. You will honor your friends. You will defend their honor by finishing what they failed to do. There is a reason why you are still alive. Because your new friends here need you more than ever. And
About
she... Okay.
No, that's it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
go.
Well, she now speaks to everybody. So it seems like we have a making of a plan, yes. The Lightbringers with several volunteers will ascend to the Shadow Ward, infiltrate Vulrak's tower, obtain the Book of Corruption Magic, killing Vulrak, perhaps, in the attempt. Bring the book to a very friendly goddess to create some resistances to this magic. And then, what? The rest of us will stand side by side, protecting the gate to the 9th level of hell, fighting off Riha's legions. Do I understand this correctly?
I thought that it would be best to be at the 10th ring, since we know she is currently in the 11th.
That's what I meant.
To
Yeah,
try.
I said.
Yeah,
I
she
said
said at the gate.
At the gate to get into the 9th ring. So yes, in the 10th ring.
Yes, that's the plan. And we will join once our tasks here are complete.
What is our backup plan? Should she break the line before you arrive? Or even after you arrive?
If she breaks the line before we can arrive, and even or after, she will disappear and reappear wherever she wishes. I would assume that would be the best time for all of us to regroup, heal our hurt, and try to find her. We already know that we are one of her targets. And I look at Saiyan, because we hold her sword.
We do.
We also did kill her most precious creation.
Yeah, I guess we did that too, huh?
What was that?
I'll never forget it.
If she makes it through,
Victor?
we are likely her first target.
Alright.
Very likely. So
Did you ask-
hopefully- I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, did you ask what was that? What her most precious creation
Yeah.
was? Oh, Victor.
Well, she didn't create her, remember?
Well, she certainly thought she did.
But that was, yeah, got it. Yes, you did. Twice, so I hear.
Yes. 3 times if you count sending him to the Shadow Ward.
She smirks again.
And I would like to mention, as possibly trivial as it may be, possibly hopeless as it may be, if the time does arise where we have to face down the goddess of darkness herself,
When?
maybe thanks for the positivity, Sam. Maybe throwing what Volrock did in her face would slightly help. Let her know that it was Volrock who turned her love. Let her know there was Volrock who separated them. It was Volrock who trapped her. And it was Volrock that corrupted her and made everyone and turned her against everything else. It was all Volrock's doing. It's
Do you
Volrock's
think?
fault that her love died.
Are you suggesting you think there may be a way to turn the tide of this without having to fight her.
I'm saying that there's always a possibility. An element always unseen. A weapon, the strongest weapon, sometimes is the one that's not crafted.
That is a astute observation, Chidori. And Altora kind of looks at her hands for a second. That approach should be very successful. Should Riha be in her more human-like form. However, if she is in her beast form, and she kind of looks to Althora and then Unos, we tend to not be swayed in such ways when we are a little bit more primal. Use every piece of ammunition you have in the correct moments, and we may come out of this. So he kind of looks at everybody, he looks at all the leaders. They're kind of like deliberating and arguing again. You all have your orders. You will obtain all of your armies. This is me asking you all nicely, which I will do one time. Gather your armies. Be at the elemental gate that will be provided for you all in 2 days' time. And we will all head to the 10th level of hell and continue our battle strategies there.
DM,
Yes.
in all of this, did my brother say anything of... Did he join the yelling of "I'll send my armies"?
During this last thing, he still wasn't moving, and he was being just very, very still. You did see him kind of do this motion, like the kind of thing that you do when someone's talking to you in your head, and stands up. I will inform the council of your request, and we will send... And he pauses for just a hot minute. We will send all of our legions to your aid.
Jadobi's face drops. This is not that...
I mean, if you look at Facina and other people who know of the culture, even your father, everyone's like, the fuck just happened? Like, everyone's got that same what just happened face.
Can I tell if he's being honest?
You need an insight check.
Look at that grumpy mug. He mad.
That's a 19 for a dirty 20.
19. 20, excuse me. Yeah, he is being honest. You've meddled with mind chatting and message, and you're very familiar with the arcane arts. And Homegirl was just talking to you in your mind too, so you know that warm and fuzzy feeling that you kind of get the hair in the back of your neck stick up. You can definitely tell that someone was talking to him. And with that insight check, he's been very, even when the meeting when Jadobi was there, he's been very soldier. He's been very just disciplined. This whole time he's been very disciplined. In that moment, right before he spoke, he definitely looked like he just got scolded by like grandma. Like he is, his feelings are hurt. He's not showing it, but he's just like, like you can tell
What?
that she was yelling at him in his head.
He's like, please don't hit me with the spoon a second time. Like
Yes.
that's it. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Do I feel like... Do I feel like that look on his face was something that he got from our mother? Or do I feel like it came from...
You know, I didn't even say that. Your mother is in the room. No, it looks worse. His eyes have always been on Altora. Like, the whole time I mean, if you guys are talking, he does look at you, but it does go back to her every time. It definitely felt like she was the one who was yelling at him, not your mother. But even your mother was like... like, maybe I need to take some notes from Altora. Like, this is... You know, get in his head and scare him shitless. Got it. Like...
All right. Brother, if you need any, if the council that I still have not accepted my seat yet, or maybe not ever, needs an extra push, you let them know that the warden of the Tave has asked for their help as well.
Morenzen, we I think we have been successfully motivated. But yes, I will inform them that as well.
Awesome, great.
And he looks to your father and gives him a bow. He looks to your mother, does the same thing, and he begins to walk out of the room. A lot of the other council members are starting to just separate and move out, and your mom does walk up towards you. Jidobi, you are... Feels like you have finally got used to your authority.
No, I just wanted to use it on him. I thought it would be kind of funny. He's always used it. He's always used his against me. So
I wish the Zells were here to see that.
He'd be proud.
Then you see your father walk up and give your mom a good hug, and foreheads are touching, and like a legitimately like at least a 2-minute intimate moment.
It's a drinking tea hug, right?
Yes.
Butt squeeze.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
What were you gonna say, Cerise?
Touch the butt.
So Cerise actually wants to talk to Oriana. She's had a kind of burning question for her for a while,
Sure.
but hasn't found the right moment. So she sort of separates, pulls herself away. Lady Oriana, can I ask you something?
Of course, yes.
This maybe isn't the most pressing thing right now, but I feel like I just need to know what's happening to Victor now that we defeated him in that arena.
Victor's soul is gone. No longer in our possession, no longer in torturement and an endless amount of death. His soul is gone forever.
Cerise sort of nods slowly. Good.
Not what I had in mind. Kind of looked forward to torturing him for an eon or two.
I made a vow that he would be forgotten from history, so I think that will make it easier.
Come find me when this is all over. Maybe we can make that a reality.
I have my own plans.
She kind of smirks.
As everyone is slowly dispersing, Saiyan is going to hang back and wait until everyone else is gone to try to have a moment one-on-one with Athora.
Okay. So people are leaving the rooms, and they're kind of like having their own little like clique meetings everywhere. Jidobi's brother is actually leaving and turns and goes, "Randhanik, are you coming?" And he looks at Jidobi, and then he looks at his brother. "No, I will be staying here." And you look, and your father is actually holding your mother's hand. And your brother bows, "Mother," and leaves the building.
So this is different.
It is. When you are faced with a lifetime of regret and unsure of how many moments you have left, those who you care for become that more precious.
I haven't seen you like this since I was 10. Huh. I am happy for you both.
And they continue to kind of just conversate, and they're talking with you, and Ina walks up, and you are all having like a little family moment. There actually is a moment where a little like fly or something comes buzzing around your dad's head, and he goes, and he grabs it. Come on. And poof, you see your son just grabbing his face and hugging him. Grandpa moments. All cute. But saying you do find a moment where Thora leaves her sister and does walk in an area that's not really populated and meets your gaze and comes up to you.
Saiyan actually has a really hard time meeting her eye to eye.
She lifts up your chin. It is okay, Sam. I am sorry that I have been dark for some time. I was attempting to get allies that are too stubborn to get off of their asses.
I don't know that I'm worthy to look you in the eye right now.
We all make mistakes, Sam. But you
I've
are
been so lost without you. What made you choose me as your champion?
She goes to like point you in your chest, and then her hand opens up and she just puts her hand right on your chest. You have one of the kindest hearts that I have ever known. Even when you know you are outmatched, even when you know that you will fail without a shadow of doubt, you still try. The sword of Jocelyn only picks those who are pure of heart to bestow her gifts to. That alone should fulfill that void for you.
How can you still believe in me when even I don't believe in myself?
If we do not believe in one another, what will we believe in? Just
I've missed
because
you.
I do not know what I am doing, Saiyan, doesn't mean I don't jump in with enthusiasm. I have missed you as well.
Saiyan is definitely looking like he is having a very difficult time holding his composure.
Her
But
hand
is
is still on your
attempting
chest,
to. Mhm. You know how I feel about you.
I'm very distracted right now. I'm sorry.
So, DM,
Yes.
do I see this happening?
Yes, you do.
Can I use Bigby's hand to push Saiyan into her?
Sure.
God.
I'm just gonna be an enabler.
Instigator!
Yeah, I'm just an enabler, guys. Come on.
This is what you get for yesterday.
Sorry, there are fireworks happening outside my place. That's
Yeah.
what's making all this noise.
Yeah. So as you do that, she's a little startled, and she kind of embraces a hug with you.
And Saiyan is turning completely rose gold right now.
And as she does that, she embraces your hug. She looks at you. She looks down. No, not looks at you. You're both about the same height. She looks at you, and kind of grabs you like in the backs of the neck, and brings you in and kisses your forehead, and then looks at you again. I do care for you, my sweet Saiyan. You care for others as well. And under different circumstances. You will make someone very happy one day. You deserve a family. You deserve happiness. You are worthy of that.
Then, a champion I will remain. And I will do what is within my power to make you.
Oh, did he freeze? Wow. Wow. I think he froze.
Did we?
No, he did.
Deep thought.
Oh,
Deep moment. Deep
He didn't
thought.
freeze.
Oh. And welcome back, y'all. Again, there is a giveaway going because we had some technical difficulties. Exclamation point raffle to enter in that giveaway. So coming back, Saiyan, you had said I am still your champion was the last thing that I heard. Do you remember what you were saying after that?
That I am still your champion, and I will do whatever is in my power to make you proud of me.
Saiyan. And she kind of gets down on like a knee and looks at you and looks up at you. I am beyond proud of you. Don't ever forget that. I should be your champion.
Saiyan is completely flushed and like stumbling words right now, like doesn't even know what to say. Like, but like, this is like dividing by 0. X does not compute. What?
She stands up. She holds your hand in both of her hands. I believe in you. I believe in you and your power to help the Lightbringers complete your tasks and abolish this monstrosity from this realm. You will find happiness, Saiyan. You will.
If I can shine a light on the darkness, that'll bring me the greatest joy I could ask for.
I will bid you farewell. She kind of puts her hand like on your face and looks at you and then leaves with El Tora.
Saiyan just watches her as she walks off, just taking it in and just standing there.
I will walk up to Denahi and Tormund. I'll look at Denahi. Well, that went well, yeah?
I think so. I think we're ready.
And I'm gonna look from her to Tormund. How much do you dislike me right now?
Not as much as I would like. But it is still enough.
I get that a lot, actually. I still don't know how to process that. But,
If I may speak a truth, while you annoy the shit out of me, I respect deeply, which is, I think, enough for you. It is like a little brother, almost.
Then you want to punch.
Denahi?
Nahi says it through. Except, most of the time, even though I'm pretty strong, I could not punch you to where it would be effective.
On that note, at that very moment, Saiyan walks into the room, slaps Joby on the back in the way that he usually does. Keep to your oath, they'll like you much more.
You know what's really funny is I was about to slap on the back as Roman, so maybe that's a simultaneous thing where you get like a
There we go, just a double slap.
Double dragon slaps?
Double dragon
Oh my
slap.
God.
By the end of this, Joby's just gonna have a bunch of bruises on his shoulders.
And salmonella.
Easy, everyone, easy. Tormund, I just really felt that you were
My anger
very
wasn't towards you. It wasn't. You happened to be the last person who spoke before I did. And so my anger more or less was misplaced.
Well, seems like it's time for us to find a place for it. Let's use that anger. Channel it. Use it
Yeah.
to shine a light on this darkness and bring an end to your old foe.
Saying, why are you rose gold right now?
Roman just starts laughing.
Oh,
What the
saying
hell
you're
is
s-
rose gold?
You're so.
and he rose gold is this color
So-
between gold and pink, but it is not quite either of the two.
He looks
So,
pink to me.
Yes.
So another thing with regards to the fact that yes, he is still rose gold, but even besides that, if anyone had paid close attention before, the usual radiance that you got from Saiyan had dimmed slightly, but right now it is shining the brightest it has since your reunion.
Is it just me, or are Saiyan's scales like, I don't know, kind of like bright?
Saiyan.
Hmm?
Can I have one of your scales?
Did I know?
He has lots of them.
I mean, I don't usually intentionally remove them, so I'm not sure how that would work, but
It's really easy, actually. If I do some magic on it, it should come off like that.
oh dear, okay.
This is my team. This is my team.
And we
Hey.
love them ever so much. About this point,
We are the
Max-
barrier
Max-
between the forces of darkness, so
about this time,
We're ready to
Max
be
does walk up, and very similar thing like he always used to. You know, this is a common thing with Jadobi. Now that I'm thinking about this, everyone just pats him on the back really hard because Max used to do this, almost kill him.
I'm watching Max. I'm watching Max.
Max actually
I
comes
am.
in. Max comes in hot, but then
No.
gently puts his hand on your shoulder. You have come a long way, Jadobi. You have liberated people after people, denied your authority over and over again, only to be put in that position again and again. Continue to exceed expectations. And all of you, those of you who I met, and those of you who I have not, you all are something to aspire to. And for those of you who don't know who Max is a Cerator, which is like the original Minotaur, and he is 15 feet tall, jet black skin and everything else. He is wearing his crown, so he does have his king armor on currently.
And Denahi has the hots for him.
We both
And
have hooves.
Another enabler.
Thank you, Max.
yes,
I appreciate
thank
that.
you.
Denahi, it is good to see you as usual.
Same here. It's been a while.
It has. If we
I
make it out
just
alive,
walk-
we should grab some air.
Sounds good to me. Let's see if you survive down there.
It's been an interesting battle, for sure. And he begins to walk away and his tail's wagging.
And I shit my pants.
I wish I had prestidigitation right now, but I don't.
Oh my, oh my.
Oh my.
Yes, I'm sorry that I had to kind of dismiss your magic door, but I just felt that you were important enough to need to be here to the end.
Import. Nah. I said my piece and I left because most war councils, most people talk, not enough people listen. So I said my piece, walked out. It's no matter. You made decision. It don't. At the end of the day, that is that.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
I am but a traveler on these roads.
We were being
No.
acknowledged as the Lightbringers, and you are a Lightbringer. You had to hear their praise. Ow. Bro.
Yes,
Your
Denahi
cat-
said
your
it
cat is
best.
a Lightbringer as well.
Yeah.
To me, praise for not defeating Vurok is not praise. That is my piece.
Well, then I guess we have to beat him now, don't we? It's time to get the shiny scales a little dirty, yes?
Me and Cerise
Absolutely.
Cerise, and Denahi will try to keep you standing so that you can see the end of that bastard. Don't let us down. That was a joke, you won't. I'm kidding.
So Dobby, we
In
gotta
truth.
talk about this. We've talked about this before. Come on.
Oh, were you talking to Roman or Torment?
Tormund.
Tormund.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
talking to you.
Um,
He's not very subtle. That's a habit.
I said honesty. That might be a bit too honest.
to be honest,
It was a joke.
trading blows with the Lich and dying in its presence would be a good death. The fates would reward me kindly. But we have that bitch Riha to kill as well. So, hopefully I will see that one dead as well.
And if you die, they bring you back as a silver shiny dragonborn.
I was hoping you would be a rock gnome, to be honest. I need somebody else short like me.
You know, I was actually hoping to be a
Short
gnome too.
powers.
I was totally wanting to be a gnome. Totally wanting to be a gnome. I'll take it.
If possible, could you please keep me gold? I'm for once actually appreciates how I look, and you know the red didn't suit me at all. So you know, let's stick with the gold.
I really liked the red on you. I did. I think red is a very
It was
suitable
not a good
color.
look for me. I mean, what is a crazy red dragon? I mean, come
Right
on.
now you
Hey.
are rose gold. That is like halfway to red.
What's wrong
So
with
what
being
I'm
red?
saying,
So I have a question. Since we're a collaboration of the Lightbringers and the Travelers, are we now the Traveling Light?
I would more likely say you are the light bringers that have a traveler among you, not necessarily the traveling light bringers. Considering I am one of maybe I'm 1/5 or 6th of the travelers, it's not like a true 50-50, so I
Okay.
don't think the name transfers over super well. Also,
No.
it's kind of poor taste. They're all dead.
Perhaps instead, we don't create a new name. You are both. You are a traveler and a lightbringer.
But if you counterspell me, I will take that title from you. I swear to you.
Like I said, if I counterspell you, it's because you were casting a spell at the wrong time. That's what I said. I said that when we fought in the arena. I will say that now. You cast the wrong spell, I will counterspell it. That is the end.
he didn't counterspell you in the arena.
To be fair, I thought all of your moves were exceptional. Except
Oh,
for, well, yes, they were all exceptional.
Oh, why, thank you. I appreciate that.
Even though I died multiple times.
Speaking of which, Cerise, before we head out and do our thing, we definitely need to get you some scrolls of counter magics. That's
Sure.
that's how I learned mine. Yes, Ian.
I was going to say, speaking of which, I won't lie, I kind of started to like the taste of that potion of speed. I would not mind a few more of those.
Yeah, that's a good plan. So what I'm hearing is
We're going shopping.
I do have a couple of things for you, though, San, since you mentioned it. DM, to my knowledge, do potions stack?
Depends
Like if
on
he
the
took a
potion.
Like if he took a potion of giant strength per se, and then he took a potion of haste afterward, would his strength increase and would he have the effects of haste?
I would say for that, probably. I mean, we can
Okay.
do some more. I can do some more research on that, but yeah, we've never done it, so that's one of those things where
I mean,
It
yeah,
seems like
in my
it
head
would.
it's like casting two separate spells, and like he doesn't have to concentrate on it, so
yeah.
that might be it. But
No, that
I'm gonna hand.
does make sense. I mean, if
I'm
it's two potions, they would stack because they're not competing potions. Like you couldn't do like Hill Giant and Frost Giant, like that wouldn't stack. But those two probably would stack. I don't see why not.
I'm gonna hand San my potion of Storm Giant Strength.
Whoa!
This was for you.
Yes. Did you see me hit anything with my hammer? No. You have a lot more heading to do than I do, so to be fair, you should be drinking this. And we all know the big fuck over there with the battle axes or great axes doesn't need any help.
Torque just laughs.
Fair point. Well, the only thing that I can promise then is that this time we'll keep you alive.
And you have my help. I will
If,
do
if
what
I go
can.
down, I go down. The fates are with me.
Okay.
Like I said before, I don't believe in fate. I believe we control our fate.
And Athora
Yes,
came.
for gods. That was very cute. We gave
but-
each other what I refer to as the googly eye.
So as you all are finishing this conversation, there's still some people inside the space. Your mother and your father, Jadobi, are still there talking with Ina, and your son and Giselle is there talking as well. Oriana and Facina have come to your group. Oriana puts her hand on your shoulder, Jadobi, and starts to talk to you. And that's where we're actually going to call it for tonight. So we will pick up next Wednesday, back at our normal slotted time, to find out the rest of this conversation and gather some more supplies and preparations before, I guess, heading to the Tower of Vulrock in the Shadow Ward to obtain that book. With the help of Varus and Roman, at least for the time being, are your two allies in this endeavor. But we do appreciate all of the donations you all have given today. Again, hit that link down below. We are supporting RAIN, and we are matching dollar for dollar for everything that we have raised tonight. And we'll continue to do charity events like this. So we are going to raid another D&D stream. So please go ahead and share that Fable 42 love. Share that link too. Spread the word about RAIN and all the things that they are doing and that we're trying to do to support that. We love you guys so much, and thank you for all the support, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Bye.
See you guys soon.